Imagine being an adult and after years of feeling like there was something different about you and there was something that not quite fitted in, you come to the conclusion or you get a diagnose of ADHD. And suddenly it's like, so this is what's happening with me. All of these years, I was not too much. I was not doing anything wrong. I am not lazy. I am not uncaring. It's just that my brain works different. And there's nothing wrong with it. It is just the way it is. But living this way gives you this extra backpack of situations that you've been through that you didn't know how to deal with. There was nobody telling you, hey, this is how your brain works and it's totally fine. It was just something you were experiencing and you didn't know what was going on, right? And suddenly you get this diagnosis. And what does this mean? What does it really mean, getting an ADHD diagnosis in your late 30s, for example? I mean, in the end of the day, it just gives a name to the thing. But in the end, it doesn't really change anything, does it? I'm 38, and I lived 38 years with ADHD without knowing it. There was a lot of things that if I knew from a younger age that I could have dealt differently. Many limiting beliefs I wouldn't have built, but growing up with an undiagnosed ADHD also gave me a lot of knowledge about myself. There were challenges I had to go through that I wouldn't have to. One thing is when you follow the mass and you fit in, you end up getting conditioned and thinking that everything is fine. But for me, I didn't have that because there was no place for me to fit in. So that gave me, I would say that gave me a chance to keep looking and to keep exploring possibilities and to not cut myself short. Okay, this is what you are and everybody else does this, because every time that I try to do things the same thing as other people, it just wouldn't work. And I didn't know what was happening. There is always positives and negatives about everything, but I would say that the important thing is the way we frame these things for ourselves. And I don't see my ADHD as a negative thing. I see it as something that makes me unique, that makes me who I am. And yes, there is a side to it that sometimes can be difficult, but it's only difficult because society is trying to make us all look the same. If we look at each other as unique human beings with unique brain chemistries, we are going to realize that none one of us should be the same as the other. One career doesn't fit all, right? So if one career doesn't fit all, why do we all have to aspire for the same things, do things the same way? I don't think that's how the world became so evolved. I think that neurodivergency is what makes the world as big and diverse as it is. The fact that we all have different ways of thinking and seeing things is what makes the world such a beautiful place. For example, artists, if they all saw their art the same way, there wouldn't be museums, right? Because everything would be the same. And there wouldn't be uniqueness to anything. If you look, I'm here outside in this woods, and if I look, there is not one tree that looks like the other. And there is different kinds of trees. There is different kinds of everything. And that's why I think that being diverse is actually a positive thing. Not one thing needs to be the same, and our brains don't have to be the same. And yes, it's challenging just because we have to conform. What if we saw our divergency as something positive, as something that makes us be able to find different solutions to the same problems? Or, I don't know, just celebrate the fact that we now know that there is nothing wrong with us, because there is nothing wrong with you. And if you feel like, oh, now I got this diagnose, and what does this mean? It doesn't mean anything else, but okay, now you know, and everybody else knows, and people need reasons. People need reasons to understand why we are different. And look, I never really felt I needed a reason. Maybe you don't feel you need a reason, but some people need reasons. Some people need labels. And now they know. So every time that you're about to blame yourself, just think, I am a unique human being. Having ADHD doesn't make me strange, it just makes me who I am. It's a part of me, and you don't have to change it. Yes, you can learn to live better with it. We can learn to build strategies around the things that make us uncomfortable or that we don't like so much. Everything can be changed, everything can be bettered, but don't try to change yourself. Yes, try to be better, but don't try to change things about yourself that you're actually passionate about. Because there are things about my ADHD that make me really happy. You know, I get really hyper focused sometimes in certain things, and I go to the depths of it. I explore, and I search, do research, and tirelessly. And you know how many things, how much knowledge that I accumulated by doing this that I would have never done if I didn't have this. And this capacity of hyper focusing is something really amazing. It's something that only we can do. And also, having ADHD, because of all the challenges and your brain chemistry, also makes you emotionally more open and sensitive. So high sensitivity is something I think it's really positive. I have this ability to connect with people, get into a room and read a room in 2 seconds. I know what's going on. I know what people are feeling. I get all of those cues, and because of that hyper focus, I can see physical, emotional cues everywhere. And if we learn how to filtrate this for us and like, look, this is not for me to take home, this is just something I can do, imagine how much easier it's going to be for you to connect with people. Most of the times, the conclusion I come to is that the fact that we almost deny all of this qualities that we have, the fact that we deny them, that we don't allow them, that we make ourselves feel so bad about them, that is what really holds us, almost freezes us. So what I'm trying to do right now is look into all of those characteristics and turn them into qualities. Anything that you can think of, you can make it or neutral, positive or negative. It's a choice. So I'm choosing to look into my ADHD in a positive way and to learn how to deal with it in a positive way and make myself a better person out of it. If you see yourself into this, any way, shape, or form, leave me a comment. I would love to know how are you dealing with your situation? How do you feel about all of it? And be here for you if you need someone to talk about it. So, my friend, mwah, welcome home.